Hey guys, what's up? It is Warrior Mitch. I am a first time gladiator. I earned it with two other first time gladiators. We played WLS, and I just wanted to get some content out there. So, going straight into the talents for Warrior 9.1.5, uh, tier first row in the tree, you're gonna want to take sudden death. This is your default answer every single game. The other two just aren't good enough. It's also procs with your death or works with your death sentence, giving you a charge, as well as just giving you an insane pressure. If you get an early death sentence proc, you can just pop all your cooldowns and just fucking just be hurting. Be hurting, people. You'll become. Hey, you're a problem when this happens. Trust me. Stormbolt, you want it every single game. I think in twos, these other two options are a little bit more possible, but in threes, you want Stormbolt every single time. You can Stormbolt off target for cross CC. You can Stormbolt the healer, just to cancel cast if you have pressure. You can just bolt kill target, which is normally the job of the warrior, but it's super universal, 20-yard range. You can use it on just about anything you need for peeling, whatever you need. It's super good. Massacre. In this row, Ren actually is a possible option. Normally, you only want to take it into double plate wearers, and it is a lot. I like the games where it works. It'll be like your one or two deep damage at the end of the arena. I personally don't like it. Maybe if you're playing a rot comp, it it could feel good. Or maybe with spear, it feels a little bit better when people are like locked down. You just got bleeds on them. You're playing. You can stall the game out a little bit longer with the utility of spear. Because you just spear people on cooldowns, LOS, run away. With Necro, I feel like I just like Massacre. I don't know. It just 35%. You get the charges on your execute. People can't really peel you. It just feels good. If you're not running Death Sentence, it's another reason you could get rid. You could go to Ren. I really like Death Sentence. I run it very often. But I'll talk about PvP talents in a second. I normally like Massacre. It just feels better for my style of play, I guess. I don't know. I just love 35%. If someone's at like 22% and I can't start executing it, I'm like, why didn't I take this talent? I'm so dumb. That's how I feel. Even though Ren's probably cranking, doing a lot of damage, making it hard to heal. But I love Massacre. I need my 35%. It just feels better to play, better for my mental. D-Stance, amazing. Only one you should take here in this row. Once you get good at using D-Stance, you can D-Stance stuns. You can, alright. You don't want to be in D-Stance. You want to be in D-Stance for as little amount of time as you can, right? Because if you read the tooltip, it says 10 here. In Arena, it's actually 20%. So you take 20% less and you deal 20% less, which is quite a bit. So you really want to not be in D-Stance, but it's extremely good to be in D-Stance when you need to be, right? So against double casters, sometimes you need to just walk at them, right? You need to save your charge and maybe you have to save your heroic leap to get out because you're extending a little bit far to try to get a go going, just the way people play sometimes. And you need to save your charge for maybe a mage blink or a lockport or whatever it might be. You don't just want to charge out there and instantly get kited. So while you're walking out there, maybe you're mounted up at the same time, you want to be in D stance. As soon as you connect and you can start doing damage, turn it off as long as you're safe. Yeah, cooldowns on me, you have your trinket, right? But it's just something you once you start getting good at using it, you'll feel good too, right? Like when you D a stun, like it's some skill expression in there. But it's something you definitely need to practice and get good at. You don't want to, if you notice yourself sitting D-stance in an entire arena, or your team like, why aren't you in D-stance right now? Why aren't you in D-stance right now? Just be like, trust me, man, I got this. Like, sometimes you mess it up, but you don't want to sit it the whole game. You have to learn when you can turn it on, when you can take it off. Warbreaker, extremely good. The other options are comical in this row. It's only Warbreaker. 45-second cooldown, extremely good. It actually gives you more damage than your avatar, which is on a minute and a half cooldown. 30% extra damage, as well as just normally hits, like if it crits, it can hit for like 13k, right? It's awesome. Moving on, Avatar. Avatar gives you 20% increased damage, as well as getting you out of roots. This is extremely good. A lot of times you have warriors can just get rooted in Narnia, rooted behind a pillar, whatever you're doing. Who knows? Avatar is amazing. Gets you out of those roots. It's not on the GCD either. This is extremely good. In for the kill is it is good because your war breaker is so strong, right? That's like where you're big, that's where you can do a go every 45 seconds. You can put pressure on people. But Avatar, with the utility it brings, as well as the damage, and it not being on a GCD, oh my god, you can't say no to that. Come on. So it's Avatar. Dreadnought, it just does so much damage. It gives you 2 procs of your overpower, which if you're taking this conduit, which you should be, I think on any covenant you are taking this. It just gives you so much extra damage, 17% on your overpower. Dreadnought gives you 2 charges, and your management would be an option if Dreadnought got nerfed. The way it stands now, Dreadnought every game. Moving over to PvP talents, let's look at Master and Command. This is something you're normally going to only take against like triple DPS or something. It's just not good enough anymore to warrant losing your other PvP talents. I recommend not really ever taking it. Shadow of Colossus is extremely bad. Our worst talent here by far. Storm of Destruction, I also recommend never taking. It's not very good. It can be good in Battlegrounds. If you like to play RBGs, go for it. And you also run like Unhinged, yeah, by all means run it. Sometimes if you have a PvP slot, the comp, you can drop one of these and you run Unhinged. I don't run Unhinged. It's not very many people do anymore, but it is really good single target damage. And this just puts your Blade Storm on cooldown faster. I'd recommend not taking it though in a 3v3 arena. War Banner, extremely good. I dropped Death Sentence against RMP for War Banner Disarm for Rogue and obviously Polys, and if you can try to War Banner like a blind or something, pretty insane, pretty hard to do. The War Banner is extremely good. I recommend testing it out a lot, figuring out teams you like it into, figuring out CCs that you are able to predict well. A lot of times like Priest will run in for like a big fear. You can just War Banner it for the boys. Against Jungle, you can War Banner traps. Normally it's very what's the word? Predictable. I don't know. Telegraphed. It's very telegraphed. They normally int him first, then trap. If you have the weak aura, it'll literally tell you on your stream or on your fucking screen, a trap is coming. Just drop War Banner. Duel is something I don't take very often. Been testing it out more. It's good in the Ret Paladins and Fire Mages, especially if you're not gonna get hit. A lot of times Fire Mages will DB poly the warrior, so they can't intervene the go. And if you can get out or you need a trinket or something, you can always duel them. They just will do 50% less damage to whoever they're killing. It's something that sounds like so good, but actually has like less value in game for whatever reason. I don't know. It's something to mess around with. I'd say try it into Fire Mages and Ret Paladins first. If you like it, keep using it. If you don't be afraid to move on. There's a bunch of great options here. Demolition. It's something that I think gets undervalued. I don't take it a ton, but let's say I think Mistweavers are getting more and more common. It's good in a Cocoon, and if they have just like one other person that has a lot of shields that you can destroy, like for example Dark Pack on a lock, if they're playing like Shadow Play with a Mistweaver, Demolition can have insane value. A lot of times the Priests, and I'm pretty sure Windwalkers as well, also play Necro, so you can shatter Fleshcrafts, you can shatter Dark Pack, you can shatter Cocoon. It's just a lot of value, reducing the cooldown of it by 1 minute and increasing the damage on it. It's something to mess around with, but also not a default talent. Warbringer, I never really bring this just because of the other options we have, but it does do a lot of damage. And if you're just looking for, fuck my team, I'm doing the damage, I don't care about my awesome utility, this would be something you would bring. It does a shit ton of damage, and it's on a 20-second cooldown with your charge. On top of that, if you're in your cooldowns, like if someone has like, let's say you have Banner Pop, Avatar, you have Colossus on them, or you just Warbreakered, and it's like a lock, they port away, and you're able to like charge them, like it'll literally hit them for like 10k. It's insane. It's It's really strong, but you just lose out on too much of the other stuff. But if that's your playstyle, fuck it, man, go for it. Sharpened Blade, you want this every game. And a problem people have with Sharpened Blade is they start to just use it off cooldown, or I see warriors running out of the gate with it already procced sometimes. I just think it's a little goofy. Um, it's really good to put it on your kill target. It's really good to put it on to save it for when you actually are in a go, right? Like if you don't have Warbreaker up and your Sharpened Blade comes out, maybe just hold it, because you're gonna gain way more value of it, or way more value when you're actually in the middle of a go, have damage out, killing someone, right? And if you actually have it for when someone is going to die, like it's a difference between someone living with 20% HP and getting topped and them dead. Like it's insane. It's really good. You just have to think a little bit more with it, because I think a lot of warriors just kind of use it off cooldown, which isn't bad. You want good uptime on it. It's a 50% MS, but I'd highly recommend trying to save it for your cooldowns, or when you actually are going to be having a real kill opportunity, and you'll probably see yourself winning more games. And Death Sentence already talked about, so that is the warrior PvP and PvP, or those are the warrior talents and PvP talents. Moving on, I'm going to talk about the Covenant. I personally am mostly a Necrolord warrior. I find it more fun, more defensive, more damage. I love getting a Massacre proc, popping my banner. We call it busting back. We try to always just get it on cooldown and bust back and get as much pressure out, and it's not something you can ignore. You always get cooldowns, you get trinkets, you get defensives. Like, it's something that just, you use it and people have to react or they will die. Like, it feels so good. Now, sorry. You can also intervene Fleshcraft. You can Fleshcraft with your Bladestorm, or on top of Bladestorm being able to stop CC, your Fleshcraft can as well. If you play with a caster and people are ever kicking your Fleshcraft, sometimes it's like, I wanted my Fleshcraft. But like, if they're using a kick on you and not your caster, oh my god, it's so good. Or your healer, it's so good. It really is. So it just is like a hidden little utility part of Fleshcraft. But I really like it a lot. Figure out what you like. Spear is not bad. Spear can be used defensively. You can use against Ret Warrior when they're in their cooldowns. You can just spear them and run away. It's really good into high mobility classes, such as like if you catch a Druid out, if you catch a Warlock out. By the way, Warlocks, they can't port your spear, but they can gate your spear. Do you ever see a Warlock playing really close to their gate? Maybe you go someone else, because you're going to end up just wasting your cooldown. But Spear's not bad either. You do get decent utility. You stun when you're low, which is nice, because if you're ever not in D stance and let's say you're against like RMP or something, you'll stun them. You also automatically drink your file, which takes off I believe when you're low as well. So it is pretty defensive. It's nice just because it automatically does it, and you can be vulnerable in stuns sometimes. If I was going to recommend someone to play, though, it would be Necrolord. I think it's a little bit easier to play. Some spears can be kind of hard if you want to be offensive, if you want to be defensive, or if you're only using them for utility in your comp, if you're trying to do big dam. Sometimes it's a little bit more of a learning curve than Necrolord, which is just like, pop it, do big dam, and fuck shit up. Going into legendaries you want to use with each Covenant. When you're playing Kyrian, you pretty much are only going to use the Kyrian legendary, which increases your spear by 4 seconds and gives you 25% crit during spear. You also want to run full crit. It actually kind of makes it so it's a very scary cooldown. Once a minute, you have a lot of goes, and yeah, you can absolutely just fucking annihilate people when they're in your spear. If you are playing Necrolord, you want to go Enduring Blow, and you want to run Haste. Haste reduces the cooldown of your Mortal Strike. Mortal Strike applies your Colossus Smash. Colossus Smash gives you 30% increased damage. You're going to have a lot of uptime on it. It's really fun to play with. You just have a lot of uptime of big damn. It feels good. Highly recommend it. You want a haste set. The off pieces and weapon, just do whatever you prefer. I have the mastery version of it. It just feels good to me. I don't know. Does a little bit more high end damage. I don't really know how much the weapon matters. I do have both though. For reference, gives you a little bit more verse as well. That's the one my personal go-to for this set of haste. I think that just about covers it. Real quick race. If your alliance go human, if you are horde, go orc. Real quick, I forgot this. I just was looking over the video and I wanted to talk about macros. Add-ons are kind of preference. If you ever see one you like, I'd say just ask the streamer. Ask me if you see one I have that you thought looked good. But macros, I also think are kind of preference. I personally don't use any 1-2-3s or focus macros. I do have like a couple curse over. I have a curse over kick in case I'm like close to the healer and I just can do just like boop. And I have a curse over bolt, which I don't really use that often, but it's there in case I need it. But the ones I want to talk about mostly are you want or cancel Bladestorm aura macros on certain things. So I have it on my bolt, I have it on my execute, I have it on my kick, I have it on my disarm, and I have it on my fear. I believe those are the ones you mostly need. I would also recommend maybe putting it on your banner, which is I don't have, and I've been meaning to make, and luckily I just brought this up because it reminded me. And just anything else you might need. You don't need it on die-by because you can use die-by while you are bladestorming. But yeah, cancel Bladestorm auras, super important. Cool. I think that's pretty much it. This was my first Glad. I got 2400 under 1,000 games. I got my mount at 1,020 games, and I want to get a rank 1 in Shadowlands. I think I can do it. I've been to 2550 so far. Yeah, and if you want to be there along for the ride, right now my internet is too shit to stream on Twitch, but I will be posting videos on my YouTube channel, and as soon as I am able to stream, I will be there as well at twitch.tv/WarriorMitchTV. And thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you get some dubs and start climbing in the arena. Feels good. Feels good to just be able to win some games. Thanks for watching. Peace.